Jagex, fix your servers. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Give me a second. Okay. How am I supposed to do birdhouse runs with this lag? I'm suffering from success. I'm sorry. I got a little carried away. It's been a rough few days. I've lost a lot of GP in raids and things are getting out of control. Okay? Welcome. This is Oldschool Runescape and I hate this game. That's why I've been playing it for 17 years. Now you might be asking, Kriibus, why don't you just go touch grass and then also touch grass without a G and a R? Well, the answer is I'd rather hunt meaningless pixels for hours and not get the drop I want because the system we have in place is dedicated to make you go insane. You wanna know why the system is a mess? Because transparency. There is no clear indication when the drop comes. Could be today, could be in a month, you just never know. And don't get me wrong, there is a beauty hidden in random number generator drop rates. That's why Las Vegas exists, but mostly it's yucky, outdated words. Recently, there has been a lot of controversy behind the latest and newest raids drop rates, specifically on the rare drops, and how it has been secretly adjusted according to Jagex's own needs instead of the needy players we have right now. The truth is, after years of bullying in this game, players don't know what they want, especially when it comes to gaming. They just want the best for themselves and not the update that benefits the overall health of the game. I mean, if I could, I would probably just get max stats, max gear, max cash, max will to live and just go wild. But that would be like 10 minutes of fun and then I get bored. But let's hypothetically agree that players like you don't know anything in the world. Not rich, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The thing is, I don't think companies know either in some cases. So today I'll talk about the game I enjoy the most and the drop rates in some cases that are so ridiculous that have no right to be what they are. I already mentioned the newest released raid, so let's go over that first. Now I criticize Jagex a lot because even though 90% of the time they get things right, I'm gonna be blunt here, the 10% of the time they do get it wrong is much better for my viewership. I'm just being honest, the drama is good. And luckily we have so much drama right now that it's filled to the brim. So let me yell out, yes queens, take a sip of my spicy pumpkin latte and let's talk about the drama that is happening around those drop rates with the newest raids release and everything else in this beautiful yet terrifying game. Step number 1, whenever a new content comes out in any of Jagex's trademark games, well okay, they just have one trademark game and it's RuneScape. They always hide their drop rates. Whether it's a boss, minigame, whatever, right? It's been happening for years now in the original RuneScape and it's happening in Oldschool RuneScape as well. And there's two main reasons for that. First and foremost, whenever a new content comes out, Jagex doesn't know what kind of audience will be pulled in with that content or how much is it played. Take all 3 raids we have in Oldschool RuneScape for example. Raids 1, we don't have exact number, but looking through high scores and leaderboards, we can assume it's somewhere around 20 million completions in 5 years. Raids 2, 6 million completions in 4 years. Okay, respectable, 6 million 4 years, not as successful but also not bad. Raids 3 million completions in 1 month. Yeah, that is insane number and you can't predict that outcome before you put your content out. So it makes sense that once Raids 3 did come out, they adjusted the drop rates accordingly in the first few months, and when things settle down, you can release the drop rates to the public and be happy with the results. I don't agree with that, but I guess I can see reasoning behind it. And the second reason they do it is because for some reason they believe half of the fun is for us to try to figure it out. Jagex believes that part of the fun is getting your first taste of that sweet purple color and wondering, wow, was I lucky or what? And the answer is yes, you were. And then of course we get the occasional bad take by Jagex employee saying, hey person who loves these games and wonders if the content is worth doing, why you wanna know the drop rate? It's not like this will help you. Sure, if you think that, but you ever thought you could say the exact opposite? Releasing the drop rates could benefit the game? Question mark? Maybe. I think so. You know what, it's always gonna be uphill battle with Jagex employees. It do be like that. So these are Jagex's reasoning behind these decisions, but let's look at it from players' POV. First of all, nobody enjoys the mystique. Most players are just grinders that got old. I'm looking at you by the way. You know that saying, if you're waiting for a bus, it's much less stressful knowing exactly when the bus arrives rather than not knowing the time at all, even if the bus is late. Well, that applies really well in this case. Even if the numbers are slightly wrong, it's still better to have some numbers than none at all. Players want to make informed decisions whether this is worth doing in their limited time of the day or not, because pushing for one rare reward per 50 hours of game time is not something that's appealing to everyone. Luckily, we have the good people of RuneLite client and Runescape wiki and you. Yes, you, because every time you have the RuneLite loot tracker turned on, it records the data points and adds it to the system, so good job you, you're awesome. But yeah, RuneLite and Oldschool Runescape wiki came together to brainstorm and come up with the concrete drop rate system for Raids 3. You see, our bus arrived, even though it was late, and as it stands today, this is how the drop rates goes. The post has a lot of very complicated words, and yes, we could talk about this for another 15 minutes, but I'm gonna summarize it for you in less than a minute. The reason why it's so hard to give accurate drop rates for Raids 3 is because there are a lot of moving parts that decide what your drop rates should be like. What invocations you use, did you die during raids, how much damage you dealt, puzzles, points, all that. So even though you and I contributing through the RuneLite tracker is a very good data point, it doesn't tell the entire story. Like for instance, when you died 3 times during your raid and got the Leech title at the end. RuneLite loot tracker can't track you being bad at the game. That being said, here are the purple drop rates. This goes for normal raids and expert raids. If you get a purple, it will be chosen out of the drop table that has 24 equally likely slots, and the rates goes as follow. 7 out of the 24 contribute to the Fang, 7 out of 24 contribute to the Ring, 3 out of 24 for the Ward, 2 for the Masori armor, and the last spot is aka 1 out of 24 meant for the best drop in Raids 3, the Dumeken's Shadow Staff. Now for entry mode, you can still get all of the items, but it is estimated that anything but the Fang and Ring will be about 100 times more rare. So on average, you have to complete about 5,000 to 10,000 entry mode raids to get one staff. That's insane. The gem drop rates are on average about 1 in 45, and as far as data tells, it's not more common on entry mode as it is on normal or expert mode. And last but not least, should you do solo raids or team raids? The answer is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Whatever you enjoy the most, because the data shows that there isn't that much of a difference. If everything is on equal ground, the raids tend to be slightly faster in teams. If you do it in solo, however, you rely only on yourself. So for level 300 raids, on average it seems like 1 in 24 for solos and 1 in 26 for duos per person. So even though on average you get purple every 13 raids while doing duos, you likely have to share that purple with a friend, unless, you know, you scam them. Whereas if you do 24 raids solo, you keep all the purples to yourself. And that's it. It's as reliable as we're gonna get until Jagex actually gives us concrete numbers, which may not come very soon, as they did hint that there is a chance where they never release drop rates. I don't agree with that statement, but you know, they know better than I do. Or at least I hope they do, because otherwise we are screwed. Now the actual reason I want to talk about drop rates are because they are very deceiving. And one of the places I have seen people get frustrated over doing hundreds of hours of content without finishing is the Gauntlet, specifically Corrupted Gauntlet. Now first of all, I finished the entire log in less than 300 kill counts. No flex, but that is the definition of spooned. I got spooned. The bet is 1 in 800, got 2 of them. The seed is 1 in 400, nailed it. And the other 2 are in 1 in 50. Absolutely over the rate. I got spooned. Many are still struggling though, and I get them. It's frustrating. You see the 1 in 400 drop rate and you look forward to the 100-hour grind on average. Well, if you get 400 kill count, your chance of getting the seed is actually nowhere near close to what you thought it was. You only have 60% chance of getting the seed, and even if you do the content for 200 hours, you still have 10% chance of not getting the loot. And this is what's been happening. A YouTuber named 7 tried for 3.3 thousand KC. That is 500s of grinding and still not being able to finish the content. How demotivating that must be. But you say, Kriibus, stop complaining about bad luck and give us solutions. Thank you kind stranger for putting us into the next paragraph of the video. Let's try to find a solution. A great solution I have seen that Jagex already kinda uses is dividing one piece of equipment into shards or multiple pieces. For amulets that take blood shard and Zenite shards and add them to the already existing amulets. Take Cerberus and how you can add different crystals to already existing boots. Take God swords and you have to use 3 shards to combine into blade and then combine the hilt and the blade into powerful weapon. And it works, you don't feel the burden by one single drop. Well, I feel like this could be expanded in many ways. Let's go back to Gauntlet. Here's an idea. 3 shards of 1 in 133 drop rates. Overall, the average drop rate of the seed is gonna stay the same, but the worst case you've seen throughout this video could be eliminated with this. Meaning yes, people like me aren't gonna get spooned and finish the entire collection log in 300 KC, but also we're not gonna have YouTubers who need almost 4000 KC to finish their collection log. It will become more staple content for everyone to enjoy. Don't make one single item dictate the end of the grind while getting burnt out, and instead focus on the overall bigger picture of enjoying the grind, because you know the end result will smooth out in long term. Another solution will be a mechanic RS3 added in. Even though RS3 is a big heaping pile of Kefri's tongue, I think the one thing they did correctly was implement the bad luck mitigation mechanic that can affect drop rates of certain items. So when a player has not received that item after doing the content for so long and going really dry, the drop rates are altered so that the player is more likely to receive that. It's not guaranteed, but it's more likely now. That way, let's say a content takes 30 hours to complete and you've been here for already 100 hours, you know the end is near, and that does make you kinda push forward even more. It doesn't affect you if you're lucky, and it doesn't affect you if you get the normal drop rates. It just affects you when you're super dry. And we've all experienced that, right? We've all been there where the drop is just not coming in and you dump hours and hours into it and it freaking sucks. It's not a good feeling, and burnout is a real thing. As times move on, so do people, and most players just don't have 500 hours to do one type of content anymore. Does that mean they shouldn't be able to enjoy that content now? Of course not. They have every right to enjoy this as well. I think there's a middle ground here with the shards, as it provides the grind, but also make sure you don't go ridiculous numbers dry just to flex your friends of a single drop. Because more and more we see players get burnt out by the game because the roll of the dice didn't favor them. And I feel like that is an ancient system that can be changed to benefit more players these days. As times change, so should the game. That's it from me today. I'll be uploading a video every single day for the next 2 weeks, so a new video tomorrow. If you want to see that video tomorrow, make sure you subscribe. I love you so much. Bye. Mwah.